So about a month ago, I learned a new trick. I learned how to get my ankle to completely touch the ground while still managing to stand up. Now, I'm not going to post that picture or video here, so if you're interested in seeing that, it's in my last video. During this downtime of my ankle healing, I had a lot of time to play the new remastered Tony Hawk games. And all that playing got me thinking, whatever happened to all those other skateboarding games I remember growing up? Which would bring us to the topic of today's video, forgotten Pro Skater ripoffs. So the first game on our list is a game that I actually owned, and that game was Evolution Skateboarding. Now, at the time, I was really into the Tony Hawk series, so when I saw this game, I was really excited to get it. That was, of course, until I actually played it. You see, right off the bat, it was easy to tell what this game was trying to be. Every level was timed with a number of missions for you to complete, just like this other game I played, something Hawks Pro Skater, but nowhere near as good. Actually, even reading the bio for this game, it's clear to see what they were trying to compete with. If you're tired of the traditional skateboarding experience, Evolution Skateboarding takes you to a variety of imaginative levels. From the neon streets of Tokyo to the dungeons of European Castle, you can grab air and perform more than 70 death-defying tricks and continue the challenges with new Boss Skate mode. I remember doing tricks felt really awkward. Some of the motions of the tricks were off too, like not what they were supposed to be in real life. And by far the worst thing was that they announced every trick you did in the game.
Tail!
And sometimes they didn't even announce them right.
5-0 grind! Tail manual! Tail manual!
To be honest with you, I didn't know that I didn't finish the game because I stopped playing it literally right after I got it. And in researching this video, I found out that you could actually fight a vampire in the game, like the vampire boss or something. I just remember fighting a tank. All in all, the game felt like a cheap cash grab, and eventually did tank. Now the next game on the list is a little bit different in the fact that you don't actually ride a skateboard, you're riding a hoverboard. Now, luckily I didn't play this one because, to be honest, just the idea of riding a hoverboard just seems so boring. I would not want to play a game where you're riding a hoverboard, but it is what it is, right? No wheels, no waves, no snow means no limits. Features an awesome mission-based story mode, unbelievable tricks and stunts, and even a party play mode for up to 8 players. Experience the extreme physics of Airblade and find out just how much fun you've never had. So here's a little rundown of the story. You live in an apartment with your buddy Oscar. Oscar's working on a secret government project to develop a hoverboard, the company called the GCP. However, GCP shuts down the operation, and your buddy Oscar takes home the probably not FDA approved and irradiated hoverboard and leaves it in your apartment. Long story short, the GCP gets tight and they kidnap your boy Oscar. It's up to you to get him back. A lot of people did give the game praise for its graphics at the time, and the gameplay felt pretty smooth. But it did have an unfortunate repetitive level system where you had to do, same thing like the Tony Hawk games, a timed level with a number of missions you have to complete within them. Except it was the same missions in every level. However, in this game, if you didn't complete one of the said missions, you would have to restart the level again. So though the game did get moderate reviews, it eventually was forgotten about in time, which is maybe for the better. The next game on our list is an interesting one, and that's because it is not a ripoff. However, it was perceived as one. 2000's Grind Session has the unfortunate reputation of being the game that was released after the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Around 6 months or so, actually, to be specific. And what's interesting about this game is that though it shared a lot of similarities with the Tony Hawk series, it really had its own unique ideas that shine through pretty well. Before we get into those, let's talk a little bit about the characters. For one, you could play as actual professional skateboarders, one including Daewon Song. What's interesting about the way the levels play is that, yes, like the Tony Hawk series, you have to complete a number of missions within a timed run. How you actually unlock the levels is a little bit different. In this game, you collect respect, which helps you unlock more levels.
To elaborate a little bit further on this, if you wanted to get all the respect in one level, the game kind of forces you to take a much more strategic approach, because in order to get everything, you need more time. One of the ways to do that is to do the technical lines, which allow you to get more time but aren't easy in themselves. So it kind of puts you in a situation where you have to think, well, should I go collect everything first and then try to get more time, or try to get more time and then get everything first? Either way, it makes the gameplay way more interesting.
Some interesting things to note is that the grind mechanics are very different in this game than the Tony Hawk series. How your body is in relation to the ledge or rail that you're skating actually affects what trick you do, which was later perfected in other games, but it's so cool to see that in such an old game, especially with the original Tony Hawk series coming out only 6 months before. I think it's a pretty innovative idea for the time. What I think happened here was bad timing. The game was released after the Tony Hawk series, and though it started development before, it's safe to say that anything that came after that time was just living in the shadow of that first Tony Hawk game. Perhaps if Grind Session did come out first, I probably might have been making a completely different video right now. But with that said, let's move on. Alright, so this next game, or I should say these next two games, I'm really excited to talk about because they are hot garbage, and these are my favorite kind of games to talk about. Something I forgot to mention about the last game was that it was developed by Shaba Games. Now, Shaba Games, after releasing Grind Session, went on to go make the amazing and wonderful and best game to ever be released, Razor Freestyle Scooter. Alright, so let's start off with the story. Razor tells the story of a group of kids whose friends have been captured by an evil giant robot. Over the course of the game, the youngsters will have to complete an assortment of challenges to rescue their pals. Now, if that already hasn't set the tone for what this game is going to be, just get ready. The game gives you 3 levels, 2 of which seem oddly similar to Warehouse and School from the Tony Hawk series. The gameplay wasn't horrible because it was built in the same engine as Grind Session, but you'll still find yourself falling for no reason from time to time. And some of the complaints were that because of the level design, it was really hard to keep a combo going throughout a level, whereas in a Tony Hawk game, it's very easy to do that. When it came down to the actual goals that was in each level, it seems as if they just pretty much copy and pasted everything that they were seeing in the Tony Hawk series. Even the music that they put in the game was very similar in genre to what was in the Tony Hawk games at the time. And to go back to the story really quick, when you get to the end of the game, you have to complete these missions in a sky, and the giant robot gives back your friends, and he really gives no explanation of why he took your friends. Before I forget the best part, as if this game wasn't just strange and confusing already, the unlockable character is Tito Ortiz. Yes, Tito Ortiz, the f***ing MMA fighter, in a scooter game. Whose idea was that? Oh, and Tito Ortiz is wearing chanclas. That's pretty much all there is to Razor Freestyle Scooter. Let's move on to our last and final game. Like a big ender in any of your favorite pro parts, we've saved the best for last. 2007 was an interesting time for skate games. While the Tony Hawk series was past its peak in popularity, and games like Skate were about to usher in a new frontier for skateboarding games, one company sought to make a game that would change the landscape of skateboarding games forever. Skateboarding Madness Extreme Edition, and no, there was no other edition, was a plague that was released in Europe, and people hated it. Don't ask about a story because there is none. There's 2 flip tricks in this game. 2, both of which you get no points for, and I'm going to come back to that in a minute. 7 grabs and 1 grind, a 50-50. You can't do 180s on flat, but sometimes you can randomly spin while you're doing vert, which will prove to be a Now, going back to vert. The vert in this game is completely broken. Trying to actually land the trick is damn near impossible. And remember how I said how the kickflip and the heel flips don't count, which is the only 2 tricks you can do in the game? You have to do grabs. Trying to actually land the only tricks you can do in the game that'll count is extremely hard. The grind sounds absolutely horrible. I don't even know how to describe it. Your ollies are basically a couple inches off the ground. I could just keep on going with this one. So let me stop here and just talk a little bit about why this game is so broken. You see, the developers of this game, Phoenix Games, was a small publishing company that sought to make games really quick. And a matter of fact, I've even read somewhere that they prided themselves on the fact that they would release a game extremely quick. Clearly, it failed miserably. I don't know what else to say about this game besides that it's absolutely awful. Just completely awful. And I think I'm going to end it there. If you're still watching, I just want to say thank you so much for sticking around this long. I'm planning on doing a whole bunch of different type of series for this channel. Gaming, skateboarding, and a whole bunch of different things. Which reminds me, because my ankle has been healing, I haven't been able to really skate that much, obviously, but I've been getting back on the board a little bit, and I got a bunch of trash clips I'm just probably going to throw on here, just so you guys can see what's going on. But I do also have some big news after that, so stick around and watch this first. Oh, I hope you enjoyed those trash clips. I have some good news. I did just purchase a really good camera. So the quality of these videos are going to be going up, especially for the skateboarding. And I'm just going to say that. So stick around for the next video because I got a whole lot more planned. Again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.